welcome back to WRPL. It's the podcast where we talk about all the things we're watching, reading, playing, and listening to. My name's Ben.
And I'm Steve.
And Steve, welcome to my house this time.
Switching it up. This is what, like the 6th time in
Sure, I don't know why we would
200 episodes.
Yeah. This is episode 189.
Damn.
And this is not a special episode. This is a normal episode.
Nice.
Our main topic is normal. Why? Who knows?
Why not?
And if you're saying, what the fuck is normal? Yeah, you and so many other people. I don't see this movie making any sort of money. Very surprised that it was even in theaters, but we'll get to all that. I did my due diligence and I saw all the new releases, including last week when we had our This Meets That, because Steve did not want to see whatever the hell came out last week.
Faces of Death.
Faces of Death, that's right.
Whatever the other thing was.
All right, well, let's start with a roll, and y'all, remember, you have to trust me that I am doing a digital roll. So, Steve, you just say stop whenever.
Stop.
7.
Damn.
Okay, let's start. Okay, close my eyes, can't see. And stop.
6.
1.
Jesus Christ.
I can't even win on my computer in my own home.
You could have lied, Ben.
No, I'm an honest man. Well, let's talk about some news and stuff.
Let me ask you, are you going to bring up anything CinemaCon?
Probably not.
Because CinemaCon happened.
It did, and there's so much stuff.
And yeah, and I was listening to a podcast where they're like talking about some of the trailers and some of the things that went down. Mm-hmm. And it's like, man, I'd like to see some of those trailers that who knows when those come out. Yeah,
the only thing that I want to talk about 3 trailers real quick, and they're all things that we can see.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's one of the things that, like, you know, CinemaCon only happened once while I lived in Vegas, or at least once that I was there, because I worked at a theater, and it was kind of awesome. I didn't get to see anything or do anything, and I was just like a guard, kind of keeping the riffraff out, but it was still kind of fun being a part of all of it. And I wish I could have seen the first 7 minutes of Dune Part 3 and all the other bullshit that they showed. But well, these are things that I saw. There's a Godzilla -0 trailer. Did you see that?
I did see that.
He's pretty big now. I don't know if it's just the angle with him with the Statue of Liberty, but he's definitely bigger than last time.
Yeah, that shot of him coming out of the water, so fucking sweet. Yeah. I liked Godzilla -1 much more than you did.
Yes. I was just okay on it.
Yeah. But obviously teased Godzilla's in America now.
Yeah.
But we'll see if that's just like an end tag or something that was thrown at the end.
It just feels like that can't be the full movie, right?
Or just like, you know, here's the opening scene, he goes to America, attacks that, but now he's back in Japan for the rest of the movie. Whatever. Like, I don't really trust it whenever I see that kind of thing. But as a fan of the first one, I'll see this one, although I'm keeping my expectations low, because I think the first one could have just been like a lightning in the bottle kind of situation. Mm-hmm. But I had a good time, so hopefully it maintains that sort of momentum.
What do they do if they want to make another one? They can't do -1. Is it going to be Godzilla +1?
See, that would make sense if there's like, oh, Godzilla has a girlfriend?
Godzilla goes to the wedding? He checked for the fish, not the beef.
Jesus. But I don't know.
Because they're doing that number thing. Yeah. You can't say -1 because that's +1. So you might as well just call it Godzilla +1.
You just go like Godzilla 00. No, because
Retribution.
I don't know.
Retaliation. Reloaded.
Or you just call it Godzilla minus and then leave it open to interpretation.
Yeah, it'll be like -X.
Oh yeah, that'll be. Yep.
Oh, Lord. I hate that. All right. We saw the first trailer for Fokker-in-Law. Did you watch the Fokker-in-Law trailer?
I got halfway through and got embarrassed and then stopped watching because I was like, I don't care about this.
Yeah.
I like the first one. I think it's been ages since I saw the second one. I remember the second one being not as good, but I was going like, okay.
Wait, this is 3? Yeah, Little Fockers.
Little Fockers, that's right.
I don't remember what happens in Little Fockers.
Not a single bit.
Yeah.
But I remember thinking 2 was okay. But yeah, this I just don't care about.
I mean, I
can't believe I forgot about Little Fockers.
I thought this movie would be, oh look, Ben Stiller is doing the same thing as
De Niro
is doing, but I think it's a nice take that she has more in common with De Niro, and she's actually part of the CIA, or at least as far as she says, because that was a big thing about him. He said he was a florist, but he was actually part of the CIA. My theory is she's gonna be like a Russian spy or something. And she's sussing him out to like get information or assassinate him. She's not on the up and up.
She's a honeypot scenario.
I think they're gonna go real crazy with this one.
Yeah, I can see that. That's a good theory.
But like, I had no idea Ariana Grande was gonna be the woman.
Who's the son again?
Isn't it? It's the guy from.
Oh, I know who it is. Gemstones. And...
Yes, Righteous Gemstones.
Yeah. That kid.
Jimmy Olsen from New Superman.
Correct.
I never.
I should learn that actor's name.
I don't know his name.
Yeah.
It's very Italian, I think, his last name. But, yeah. And then I think, like, his sister is, what's her name? Like, BB Goldstein or...
Beanie
Goldstein. Yeah. Isn't it? I think that's his sister in it?
Yes.
That's cool. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense with legacy sequels that they would hit up this one. Not a lot of comedies get this many sequels unless you're Police Academy, so,
Or Scary Movie.
But yeah, that's kind of its own thing. We're not doing Scary Movie.
Okay.
I don't want to do that movie.
Okay.
Yeah. Last trailer, the Street Fighter trailer. We got a full, more story-based trailer. Ken and Ryu's, bullshit backstory or whatever. And I texted you, like, this is either going to be, like, the most fun or the most embarrassing thing of the year.
I think Master of the Universe is probably more embarrassing than this.
I don't know.
I feel like Master of the Universe kind of looks like it's trying to be serious about these silly things, where this is being silly
and embracing
it. But not like in a look how goofy this is way, but just like we know this is sort of dumb.
Yeah. There's a big green monster.
As long as the action's cool, and we do the references, you guys will be happy.
Yeah, I think He-Man wants to be a cool sword and sandals sort of sci-fi epic.
Yeah, it wants to be Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
This wants to be Scott Pilgrim.
Okay, all right.
Now, it won't be anywhere as good as Scott Pilgrim.
Nah.
Scott Pilgrim's a masterpiece.
Yeah.
But it's like in that vibe.
Yeah, when you see like Zangief doing like his like suplex, like rolling suplex up in the air, and like, okay, well, this would completely splatter a normal human being, but he's gonna get up from it, so they're having fun. I'm still betting it's gonna be better than Mortal Kombat 2.
Oh, for sure.
I keep seeing the trailer for Mortal Kombat 2, and I keep thinking, man, everyone from Part 1 has gotta feel so lucky that they got another shot to be in another movie, since that everyone was so bad in that movie that they should not have career. Like Jax, Sonya, all of them. Like, what was his name? Like Cade Golden Fist or whatever. They're all absolute garbage. Raiden, the guy playing Raiden, is so bad. I know that's not an accent thing. Different language barrier, but still, my God, how did he even get cast? They need Carl Urban to really make this watchable, because if he wasn't there and it was just some joke, if it was Jean-Claude Van Damme or something that, I would not care. This movie looks really, really, really bad.
Yeah, I mean, I hated the first one.
Yeah,
and like honestly, you look back at the '90s versions; those are all atrocious too.
Yeah,
but they're charming for their time, and like you and I enjoy them.
I love
but those movies are 100% not good movies.
Yeah, and it's pretty bad that that's Paul W.S. Anderson. His best movie is Mortal Kombat 1. I'm like, ooh, that's rough for you. Yeah, you make shit. Yeah, so that'd be fun.
Anyway, Street Fighter. So, long story short, this trailer had me more hopeful than the last one.
So, yeah, we'll see. It's not till August or September or something. It's
oh, really?
Yeah, Street Fighter's a long way.
I thought it might have been like a July release.
No. It's like end of summer or post-summer. Yeah. Mortal Kombat's like next month, but Street Fighter's much further.
Mortal Kombat's next month?
I believe so.
Oh, God.
Or if not next week, I'm not sure.
That should be an October release or something. Okay.
Anyhow.
Well, I won.
You won, so you go first.
I mean,
there it goes.
So...
Oh, before I forget, I'm going to cut this all out, but I just saw a thing. Okay, so what's his name? Nick Kocher from the pizza movie in Britain. Nick, that he's Grant O'Brien's friend.
Yes.
And he's the one that wrote all those breaking news about, embarrassing facts about Grant O'Brien.
Yes, they did a game, the episode where Grant goes, it's a dating show with him. Nick Kocher comes out, and they say all of that.
I didn't know who that guy was. I just thought it was Grant O'Brien's friend. I didn't know he was actually, married to Karen Gillan, you know?
Yeah, well, I recently watched some Britannic sketches, and the one where they do, the Oscar-winning movie trailer?
Yes.
Grant O'Brien's in that one.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's it's a real quick shot, but he's, in the tub, and he's, spills wine on himself.
Okay, I don't know that shot.
Yeah.
But that's fun.
He looks like a real goober in it.
He really had to grow into his face.
He did.
Also, did you watch that episode of The Rookie that had Dropout?
No, I've been meaning to, but I kind of forgot about it. It's atrocious.
So embarrassing.
I saw one clip where they're doing bits with him when he's trying to be a police officer, and I was just like, this seems slightly annoying.
Yeah. It does not paint them in a good light. If I did not know who they were, I would say I'm never watching Dropout if those are the people who are on it. Mm-hmm. So completely unfunny, painful. I skipped through the rest of the Rookie stuff because I don't care about the Rookie. And I just watched that, and it was bad. Real embarrassingly bad.
Because it was Sam, Vic, Jacob, and...
Zach and Anna.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Anyhow.
And did the whole thing just make it seem like, wow, comedians are annoying?
Pretty much, yeah. Look at all these bits that they're doing. And, it's they're just asking them questions about, who robbed the set? And, well, this guy may have had an accent. And then, they start doing a Cockney accent. And it's oh, my God, you guys are so much more talented than this. It's bad.
Well...
watch it just to be... But you hate being embarrassed, and I think you will hate it. Yeah. All right, go, Steve. Go.
Okay. So I watched Shrinking season 3.
Okay.
Probably the weakest of the 3 seasons. It's still good. Still made me laugh a lot. Didn't hit the emotional highs as the previous 2 seasons. Ended in a way that it seemed like, now I don't know all the details, but it kind of felt like, oh, we might not get a season 4, so if we don't, this could be a satisfying finale to the show. I believe they were picked up for season 4. Okay. I don't think it needs to go...
It's Apple, and it's the guy who gave us Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
Apple's biggest show. They're not going to cancel this guy's stuff.
So unless there's, some big... setback in season 4 to warrant a season 5. Mm-hmm. I think the show could end at season 4. Because a lot of the characters who started the show off in bad places, it seems like they all kind of got... Most of them seem to be going towards their happy ending or have it.
Yeah.
Except
this would be the season where someone needs to relapse and start doing heroin or something like that.
Except for one character who I won't say who... But it's okay, so the final season will be that character's journey towards being okay.
Okay.
Which I'm okay with. But I thought maybe this is the season Harrison Ford dies, because he's kind of going through an illness that isn't necessarily will kill you. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's a spoiler, but he has Parkinson's.
Okay.
And he's dealing with all that this season, but they kind of dive into it in the beginning, but then it's kind of takes a back seat for the rest of the season because it's everyone else's stuff. Anyway, So season 3 of Shrinking is good. Give me one more season. Wrap it up. They're all great, and I want to be all their friends, and it's a show that makes me laugh a lot, and for that, I appreciate it. Okay. It's filling the Ted Lasso void.
Aren't we getting Ted Lasso back?
We are getting Ted Lasso back. I think it's filming right now.
Or a season?
No, I think it's a whole new season.
Okay. It hasn't been long enough, to truly miss Ted Lasso. I don't think they needed to end. They really could have kept going with that show. But coming back already, I think it's a little early. But that's just me.
We'll see.
All right, well, I watched a TV show that came back. Malcolm in the Middle, Life's Still Unfair. 4 episodes. 4, 50-minute episodes or less. It's been, God knows, 20 years.
You said it's only 4 episodes?
4 episodes.
Whoa!
That's it. It really could have been a long movie if they really wanted to. Which, yeah, and they even said that, this isn't a soft pilot. This isn't testing the waters to see if maybe we're going to bring the show back. We just wanted to tell you, hey, where these people are, and then get out, and we're done. And, hey, maybe we'll get one in another 20 years when Bryan Cranston dies, and they have to all come back for his funeral, or something like that. Watching this just made me mad because I did want more of it. Because I love Malcolm in the Middle. I love that family. I love all the characters. And everybody just kind of slips right back into their roles like it was nothing. Especially Reese, the second oldest son. It seems like he never even aged. You can tell he's an older man now.
Yeah.
But he's exactly the same character. It's crazy how
good he is. I haven't really watched any stuff of this because I liked Malcolm in the Middle, but it was never a show I followed religiously.
Yeah.
But I saw an interview with him recently where he's just talking about going to conventions or whatever. I was like, Jesus Christ! It's exactly like you said. I can tell he's an older person, but it's weird. He looks exactly the same. It's freaking me the fuck out. Yeah. Obviously, everyone else looks different, but how does he look the same?
Yeah, and you could tell everybody's who they're supposed to be. Now we don't have original Dewey, but most of his stuff is just on webcam.
Yeah.
Which I think if they got original Dewey back, he would have done more in-person stuff. But it's he's a famous musician, and he's in Europe, big in hot models and stuff, and that's something they kind of teased at the season finale of the original show.
That Dewey grows up to be famous and bangs hot models.
So there's this thing at the end where Malcolm is able to invent something and we're gonna be multi-millionaires. We just got to get the rights to do XYZ, and his parents are like, no, you're not doing that. Why the fuck not? Because you're so smart. You're going to become president of the United States. And they're like, what? That's ridiculous. Why do you think that? I'm like, because, tell me you can't do it. And you'll be the only person who kind of grew up poor and understands what it's like to be this person. And you will rise to this point and, be the best president, whatever. And they're like, well,
astronomical amount of pressure to put on a child.
And that's part of what this show is him completely rejecting that. And he's like, well, what if I can, I sell this and then I use that money to do good and be blah, 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 rich and famous. And no, that life is set out for Dewey. And Dewey's just like, what? Really? It's they just know what their sons are capable of. So yeah, Malcolm has sworn off his family. He's had a daughter. He goes away to college, fucks one chick. She gets pregnant, dumps him with the kid and bails. He's raised this kid by himself. He's got a new girlfriend. Everybody's got lives. Blah, 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 blah. They all have to come together for Hal and oh shit, what's her name? Mom. Their 40th wedding anniversary. Which Jane Kasnerick is so good as this character, and I hate her so much. But it's one of those things. Is she insane because her kids drove her there, or are her kids absolute pieces of shit because she's the worst, meanest person? It's what the chicken and her egg situation. But every time she does something, it's I want to fucking kill her because she's so grating, but a lot of times she's right, and it just it sucks, and the kids suck too. There's a reason why everyone's nuts in this family, but Anywho.
Yeah, it's one... And you are more of a fan of the show than I am. But I remember watching certain episodes and kind of like seeing my own mother and stuff in there. And I remember talking to my mom about the show one time. She's just like, "Oh yeah, I love her. I think she's great." And I'm like, "Of course you do." Of course you do.
Yeah, moms understand her.
And the episode I'll never forget is when she gets like cut off, like when she's leaving. Yes. She's like pulling out of a shopping center, and someone like cuts her off, but like she gets blamed for whatever happened.
The cop gives her a ticket and so like, someone cut me off, and like, no one did. Yeah. And the video shows that she is in the wrong until they find another video.
Yeah. And so like the entire episode is her denying that she's wrong. She's like, I'm incapable of being wrong. I know I am right. Despite all the evidence. And then they finally convince her. And then at the end, they find this video from a different angle where it proves she was right. And then Bryan Cranston's just like, we have to destroy this video. We will never talk about this again because, like, we now have something on your mother to, like, prove she is fallible.
And she grows as a person, too, because she's just like, oh, hey, how come the trash is there? Well, didn't I take it out? No. Oh, I guess you're right. You know, like, she realized that she can be wrong.
But anyway, so she was always a character who was fun. But, God, like, it just seems like, she never hit her kids, but she's got to be abusing them, like, mentally, through her, like, reign of terror.
Yep. So, two last things before we move on. One, like, I'm happy that, because in the later season, like, she gets pregnant, and they have Jamie, and he's, like, a little brunette kid who never talks in, like, the final season. And in the last episode, they're talking about, like, wow, the kids are growing up. All we have is, like, Jamie and Dewey left. This is really great. And then she's like, oh, I'm pregnant. And so, like, they had another kid even after that who is in the show.
Six
boys? Kids. No, the last one is a daughter, but she's non-binary in the show. Okay. But, yeah, which is a funny thing. Like, I think it needed to be another boy. Like, that was, I think, part of what made her crazy is she didn't get to have a daughter to raise. It was a bunch of little shitty boys. And so she gets a daughter, but she's a little shit as well. You know, they're all bad people. And Jamie goes off to the military. They're not in it as much.
It might be kind of funny. It's like, oh, she finally had the daughter, but then the daughter is trans or
something.
It's like, God damn it. Even when I get a girl, I got a boy.
Yeah. So I wish they did the thing that Arrested Development did in their last season where every character got their own episode or two arc before they all came together at the end, because it's like, I want to really know what's going on more with Reese. He's got a thing in this, but it's just so small compared to maybe what other people are doing. I need 8 episodes.
What was the older brother doing?
Francis, yeah. He was married to Piyama, and they... whatever job he had by the end of the show, he still has that job. They're living in their garage right now for whatever reason, and she just became pregnant.
Oh, all right.
And they do a thing about, like, maybe it's something that they talked about in the show. Like, he's turning 40, and he's like, oh, yeah, my birthday is on your anniversary, not your wedding day. And they kind of look at each other like, gulp. Like, maybe she was pregnant when they got married, or they had to get married real quick before she gave birth. But it never comes back, and I don't know if it's a callback to a joke or something I missed. But my last thing I'll say is some of the stuff I don't like is, like, Malcom and his mom have a really touching moment where they have it out. You know, he's been avoiding them for 20 years, and she's heartbroken about it. And he's confronting her about him having to be the president of the United States and the pressure that has. But they're doing it in a bathroom. And then, you know, Lois. Her name's fucking Lois. Jesus.
Lois, yeah.
Lois's coworker, the, like, fat guy with glasses. Yeah. So Fatty Magoo here comes running in having diarrhea while they're having this heart-to-heart conversation. So every time there's a pause, there's a big fart sound. And he's just going like, sorry, that was a squeaker. Oops, I'll try to be quiet. Like, why are we doing these disgusting jokes at the time? It was just, like, so unnecessary. And, like, can't you just have a moment of nicety? All right, too much about Malcolm in the Middle. Steve, your turn.
Well, this one I don't have much to say on. But speaking of Shrinking Season 3 starring Jason Segel. I found a book many moons ago at a free library called This Is Water, which is written by David Foster Wallace, who Jason Segel played in The End of the Tour. That's right, starring Jesse Eisenberg.
Okay.
Yeah, anyway, don't know who David Foster Wallace was really, other than he was like a writer, but he's dead now. And I guess he was like kind of a big deal. He wrote.
I know. I've heard that name.
Yeah, he wrote Infinite Jest is like his most famous work. But This Is Water is like a famous. Well, basically, I thought it was a book written by him, and I was like, oh, this. It's like it was like real tiny. It's like I've never read any David Foster Wallace. I'll see what all the hype's about. But it's not a book. It's just a commencement speech for a college that he did in like 2005.
Oh.
And that's all it is. And it's called This Is Water because it's like he opens with an anecdote about like, oh, two fish are swimming along and an older fish asks the other two fish like, oh, hey, how's the water? And the other fish go, what's water? And then it leads into this speech about like essentially, advice to these graduating college students, and starts to talk about like how like I don't want to come here and say education's bullshit, and it's both funny and meaningful and kind of like puts some things down, but is also going like, even though like I may make fun of this, like there is value in education and like being good, like it's all about just like being a good person and how you should help others, and the true education is like life experiences and like be grateful for like everything that you have and all this kind of stuff. Anyway, it was a real nice speech, but it did make me go like, man, I gotta read more David Foster Wallace.
Okay. Was this like a 5-minute read? How long was it?
Oh yeah, it took me like I think maybe 10 minutes to finish the entire thing.
All right.
It was like 150 pages, but like there would be one page that was like a sentence.
Okay.
And I'm not really doing it justice in terms of like how it all kind of comes around back to like the fish in water and him claiming he like I'm not here and I don't have all the answers. There's going to be days where you don't want to do the right thing, but like do the right thing, for other people and everything, because that's like the purpose in life, and how to like the true knowledge and education is like to experience this place on earth and like take it all in versus just like sitting in front of a classroom and like learning stuff, because that's not how you like truly learn and educate yourself and be a better person. So it was a good read. I imagine you can find the entire speech online somewhere, so you don't have to like find this book. But anyway, David Foster Wallace, This Is Water. Take 10 minutes, read it.
All right.
You might get inspired.
I bet I could even find like a TikTok that reads it to me.
Yes, I'm sure he would hate that.
Well, I also read something, and this was something you suggested. Ooh. It was Between Two Fires by Christopher Buehlman.
I'm so excited to talk to you about this.
Yeah, so I didn't care for this book.
Really? Damn. That's a bummer.
This is... The best way for me to describe it is...
Is it just all the religious stuff that you didn't like?
No, not at all. It's vague. I need a writer to be more overt with what they're trying to say. There are times where they're talking about these two characters going down a road, yada, 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 and then it feels like we jump to a completely different character. And I know probably on the page, it's easier to see when things change, but in an audiobook form, it was like, whoa, wait, who are we talking about? Who is this? And they'll go on, and like, I don't know who this character is. And then eventually, I'll understand who it is. Like when they introduced the priest's brother, I had no idea who it was. Because my other problem with this is it's French. French is one of my most hated languages.
Okay.
I hate the way it sounds, and it doesn't matter if it's a character or a place, a town, a boat, a river, it's all... And when you read it, you can see, oh, okay, these are the letters. I don't know how to pronounce that, but I know this means this character, this means this place. But when you just hear it, it's nothingness.
Okay.
To this day, I don't know the priest's name because of how it's pronounced by the audiobook person. It's a French name. No idea. No clue. Every time they said his name, I was like, what was that again? And I think it's probably like Michael or something like that. But the way he was pronouncing it, no idea.
Interesting. Okay.
So then we would get to things like we got to a castle and we were invited in and we had this huge feast, and then I was in a jousting tournament and they were turning into monsters, and then I woke up under a tree. Did it happen? I don't know. Let's move on to the next thing. Like, well, did it happen? I don't know. The priest remembered eating monkey brains, but did it happen? Okay. But then where did it go? And then they fought a thing in the river, and then it was done. And some lady gave him mouth to mouth, and then I guess she died or something. And like, what the fuck is going on? It's jumping from one thing to a next, and I can't get a sense of who these characters are, except like he's an old curmudgeon guy, and she's Jesus or something. And some of the visuals described to me seem kind of cool, and like people were saying it's like kind of like Dark Souls. And so I can get that visual, but some of it, I was just like, this needs to be adapted to a visual thing for me, because on the page, I'm not digging this.
Interesting. Well, I'm sorry I let you down. I thought this was like right up your alley in terms of like horror and stuff. It's been quite a while since I read it. I'd like to reread it. I did the audiobook as well. So I'd like to read it in physical form just to really soak it in.
Did you say you had this on your bookshelf? Like you were going to let me borrow it?
No, well, I really wanted to get it because I wish I bought it sooner, because now it's only in hardcover because it was an indie book that got bought up. So anyway, it'll be coming out later this year in paperback. But yes, I was going to say you could borrow it as soon as I get it, but now that you've had it, but no, I don't have it.
Oh, I swear I was at your place and I was saying, yeah, it's like 28 weeks until the audiobook becomes available. And you're like, well, I have it, but you don't do physical books, so I'm not giving it to you.
I think it was a different book.
Okay, maybe. All right.
Anyway, it's been long enough to where like I can't really argue with you or try and defend it, because I don't remember any of the characters' names because it's been a while, and I don't remember necessarily all the events.
Delphine is the girl. Tomas is the knight. And Ton 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 is the priest.
I'm going to make you do French accents all the time now. But yeah, I just remember, like, obviously I remember, like, the monster at the lake, and I don't necessarily remember the ending all that well. It's like everything up to the ending. I remember there's like the dream sequences and stuff.
Honey, so people will fuck these dead bodies. He had a maggot on his dick. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, it just seemed like, as I was reading it or listening to it, it just seemed like ripe for a Robert Eggers sort of adaptation. And I think
I'd love to see it.
And I think that there is a strong visual movie here to see some really horrific, fucked up stuff.
Sure. What the cardinal turns into at the end.
With characters really I'm invested in. Like, just for... the opening chapter of the book is like... these three knights or three dudes, and two of them are like, let's go rape this little girl. And the one guy's like, how about we don't do that? Yeah. And then he has to like kill them, and it just becomes like The Last of Us during the plague.
Yeah, you described it as like Last of Us, but like knights. I'm like, cool. So there's going to be a bunch of like zombie things.
Sure.
And it's like, okay, no, there was a virus. It was the Black Death. It killed a bunch of people. I'm like, oh, okay, this is historical fiction. I thought it was going to be fiction. So I was a little disappointed that he wasn't.
Last of Us in tone, I guess not Last of Us in gameplay.
It's grumpy bearded dad story that
taking care of a little girl going across death-filled land, and I thought the gay priest was a fun addition to the group.
I don't know. It seems like they're always gay, like especially like
they're priests.
Yeah, it's like that's such an easy default thing. Like I bet it's harder to write a priest who's devout in what they believe in, and it's just so much easier to go like, and they were secretly a homosexual.
But I remember there being a sequence where the priest is like it's either a dream sequence or he's tempted by some sort of, it's like, we'll let your secret, like there's just these things that are like tormenting him, and I think he like sacrifices himself to save the other two, I think, at one point, or maybe he just gets killed.
No, he gets killed by a weird jellyfish thing in the river that has like severed heads in its tentacles, and it stings him and he dies.
Either way,
it
sounds cool.
I think like if someone
can bring it to life,
if someone gets this and they adapt it, I would totally watch it. There seems to be some really interesting set pieces, but I think for the story as a whole, it was just like, yeah, okay, she's Jesus. I get it. Let's get to the end. And they just kept, now we met a woodcarver and his wife. And then there's statues knocking on the door. Don't go outside. I'm like, what is this? I don't get it. I'm not, like, whereas maybe The Devils is dum-dum literature. Because I went on the subreddit for this, and people were saying, if you don't like Between Two Fires, which... hate the title, keep thinking Between Two Ferns with Zach Galifianakis. They're like, I'm sorry, this isn't the Marvel slop that is spoon-fed to you for your enjoyment. Like, okay, maybe I need it spoon-fed to me. And if The Devils is that, then I'll take that any day than me having to sit and contemplate, what does he actually mean by this? Like, I don't want to learn. I want to be entertained. Tell me a story.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of... we've talked about it before. That's kind of Joe Abercrombie's bread and butter of just like making very easily accessible sort of like fast-paced, fun reads about like dark, fucked up stuff.
Cool. Love it.
Yeah. So just read more Joe Abercrombie, I guess.
Maybe I should.
But I don't think you'll like anything he's written as much as you like The Devils.
Yeah.
The Devils is like your thing of like monsters and stuff. So anyway, moving on. I'm sorry I let you down.
Nah, it's all right. But when I was about a third through, I'm like, I'm going to turn this shit off. I'm not going to finish this. Like, no, Steve recommended it. I bet it's going to win me over by the end. And then I'm getting to like the third act, and I'm like, okay, I'm almost there. I'll just finish it. But fuck you, Steve, man. This, like, especially for how long I had to wait for this audiobook. I guess there's huge hype around it, and only one copy available on Libby.
It's pretty popular.
Yeah.
All right. Well, once I reread it, I'll
come back and tell me how stupid I am.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
God forbid there's nuance in storytelling.
Reading a physical page is like a meditative act where you're absorbing the words, and it's not just someone speaking at you. And you do interpret a story completely differently when you're physically reading, because you can stop and reread, go back. And with audiobooks, you just kind of one time through, and there's no going back unless you're going back and re-listening to a ton of stuff. So I bet on the page this works a lot better.
Fair enough. Well, speaking of your book, I finished a book. I finished it before our recording last week, but I didn't talk about it because we were doing the This Meets That. But I finished Book 2 of the Tawny Man trilogy in the Realm of the Outerlings by Robin Hobb. So, Book 2, obviously, I enjoyed it, but I will say it's the slowest, I think, of all the Robin Hobb books I've read, because there's essentially, like, no real action set piece, other than, like, one kind of near the end, that I can think of. Like, the action in these stories have always been, like, relatively small, but, like, in the original trilogy, there were, like, battles that they went into. There were dragons that were summoned, even though it was kind of, like, wrapped up really quickly at the end. There was, like, big high stakes, where Book 2 just all seemed like set up for what was going to happen in Book 3, of just, like, here's all these characters who are coming into these roles where they have to sort of, like, basically the entire book is, like, Fitz building his, like, a coterie for the prince with this ragtag group of, like, doofuses who don't really know how to use the skill. And,
is it called the wit?
Well, the wit is for animals. Skill is for, like, telekinesis kind of shit.
Yeah.
Not telekinesis. That's the moving one.
Yeah, telepathy.
Telepathy. Like
the brain one.
Yeah. That's like the easiest way to put it, but there's more. Whatever.
There's nuance.
There's nuance to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, love all these characters, all the new characters that they've introduced. I've really enjoyed. I've said it before about all the other books. It's quote unquote slow, but it's characters who like seem real and like all their choices make sense whether you agree with it or disagree with it. They're very all fleshed out. Even the side characters, like it's all, you never have a chapter that you're not with Fitz 100% of the time, but you understand who all these characters are, and and I love all of them, and sort of like the repercussions of all of his past, dealing with that now while putting on all this responsibility while trying to reject, like not really wanting to be here, but like it is his like sort of destiny to be here, and his relationship with the Fool the Lord Golden now.
Oh.
Yeah. The Fool has taken on a new identity as Lord Golden, and this book was like very heavily on their relationship and, what other people may perceive their relationship to be versus what it actually is.
Wait, do people think they're gay?
Well, yes, more or less. And how their relationship sort of like breaks a little in this story. But their fates are intertwined, and what the Fool believes is like, I am the prophet and you are my catalyst. Like, I need you to fulfill the destiny that I have foreseen, otherwise the world will end, kind of stuff. And it's all just building and building and building to what I hope the third book is really great. Because now there's a lot of like political intrigue with this foreign nation that the prince is getting married off to their sort of like princess, even though they don't really have a princess. They're kind of like a Viking people versus the traditional, more like English kind of seemingly knights kind of style that they are. And she's like, well, if you want to marry me, then you gotta go slay our dragon that's buried in ice. And I'm like, I don't even know if there is a fucking dragon down there. You gave me this impossible task, but if I say no, then I look like a fucking bitch. So anyway, good stuff, but it definitely took me longer to get through than I wanted. Because like I said, it's just all people in rooms talking. Okay. It's all great.
Yeah.
But there's next to no action because it's just wheeling and dealing and setting things up. So I can see it turning people off, but I really dug it, and I look forward to finishing the book that I'm currently 200 pages in of an 800-page book.
And then there's one more?
There's one quadrilogy, and then, which I don't believe has anything to do with Fitz, and then the final trilogy, which is the end of Fitz's storyline.
And that's all out?
That's all out. The Realm of the Outerlings, as far as I'm aware, is done forever.
Okay.
So after I finished this current book, I've read 9 books by Robin Hobb, and I have 7 more to go.
That's insane. Wow.
Yeah.
That's dedication. I'm not saying you. I'm saying her.
Oh, yeah. To anyone who writes more than a book, I'm like, how do you do it?
And you really thought this far ahead? Or
like, one book is impressive. To write 16 that are as connected and as detailed as this stuff is, it's just like, I can't believe you exist.
Yeah.
Like, human beings are amazing.
Some of them.
Some of them are real pieces of shit. Like us.
Well, I started a new show. It's also on Apple Plus called Margo's Got Money Troubles. Have you heard of this?
With Elle Fanning, right?
With Elle Fanning, Michelle Pfeiffer, Nick Offerman. It says on IMDb that Nicole Kidman's in it, but she hasn't shown up yet. Only the first 3 episodes are out. Pretty much, Margo's in school to be a writer. She's raised by a single mother, Michelle Pfeiffer. Her father, Nick Offerman, is a wrestler named Jinx, who kind of like, they hooked up, and then he bailed on her. Stayed in her life a little bit, but not much. He's getting out of rehab, and Elle Fanning falls for her professor that says she's a brilliant writer. It's the kid from Sky High. Like, son with no powers.
Yeah.
You're not a professor, kid. You're the kid from Sky High. Knock it out.
Michael Aragano or something like that?
Sure. He's married, already has kids, sleeps with this student. She gets pregnant. She decides she's going to keep it. Michelle Pfeiffer's like, don't be an idiot. I did it, and that was stupid of me. how, you're giving up your whole life. The typical don't be a single mom stuff. She has like 3 roommates and she has the baby and they're like, get your baby out of here. It sucks. It's screaming all the time.
Killing the vibe.
But so 2 of them bail. So she's, stuck with just like one good friend trying to raise a kid. She can't keep a job. Her dad comes back in her life. Like, it's not groundbreaking stuff here.
Sure.
But I like all these people. I've fallen in love with Elle Fanning over the years.
She's crushing it lately.
Yeah, amazing.
I've only ever seen clips of The Great, but every clip I see of The Great, it's like, this show looks amazing.
Yeah, and I like Nicholas Hoult, too, and he seems like the biggest doofus dickhole in that show.
A real piece of shit.
Yeah.
But a charming piece of shit.
Yeah. And so there's just something about, like, you know what, I like this. I may not watch it every week, but it'll be something I like, I got nothing else to watch, I'll just keep watching it. Yeah. So far, so good. All right, Steve, what do you got?
Let's see. I finished a game. Actually, you know what? I'm talking about something else first.
Okay.
Because I can't really get into it, even though I want to get into it with you. I finished the complete series of Invincible comic.
All of it, huh?
All of it, yep.
I could not wait.
I could not wait. After watching this most recent episode, I was like, let me just hop back into the comics. I'm past this part anyway. And
if you have to wait, it's like, what? You're going to wait 5 more years?
3+ years. So I know everything that's going to happen in Invincible now.
As far as you know.
As far as I know. There's things that the show has changed and added. But
they've stayed relatively true to the main beats, right?
It's a very accurate adaptation.
Okay.
I will say that. At least so far. So this comic is pretty great.
Yeah.
I found the ending very satisfying. I look forward to most of the things to come. It does kind of run into that thing where it's one of your complaints. It's just like, they keep bringing back the same villains. They still kind of do that going forward, just to prep you. It's not a thing that goes away. But
that's comic books in general. Like, knowing Invincible is a finite thing, it's annoying me. I think if I was reading that comic as it was coming out, not knowing it had an end, well, the X-Men fought Magneto 1,000,000 times.
Sure.
Superman fights Lex Luthor 1,000,000 times.
But this has been going on for 70+ years, where Invincible it went on for 15 years. So as if you're reading issue to issue, you're like, oh, wow, that's cool to see them again. I haven't seen them in 6 years, or whatever it is. But it's like...
But also, Superman and Batman don't kill their villains. It doesn't get super bloody. And when people are getting karate chopped through the gut over and over again, you expect some people to die.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
Anyway, and I think that's my biggest complaint in these stories is, like, they do that classic thing of, like, oh, the characters you love take a, super serious injury that would kill anybody else, but because of their advanced healing abilities, they can, like, we're talking about people being, like, practically split in half. And it's just like, nope, as long as you just put all the guts back in the right place, you're fine. Yeah. It might take 6 months for you to, like, regenerate completely, but it's like, holy Christ, just let those characters die.
I'm assuming we're both talking about Oliver. Or are you referencing different people in the comic?
I'm talking about multiple people.
Okay.
There's times where it's like, okay, they should just die. But anyway, sorry. But yes, long story short, I look forward to the coming seasons of the show and see how they adapt things, because a lot of these fights are just like brief snippets in the comics, where I think Invincible's done a great job of adapting these big epic fight sequences and to, like, make them more cool than they are in the comics, while still hitting all, like, the major, shots from the comics that, have these big moments in them.
I'm getting real sick of seeing people doing side-by-side comparisons of the comic and the show, which is, I like seeing, and like, wow, look, they really got that shot. But they're like, look how fucking terrible this show looks compared to the comic. Like, the comic is a still image that you can take all the time in the world to put all the shading and all the detail in. Stop comparing them, because the comic will never move, and the animation has to fucking move. It's driving me nuts. I think the show could get even worse looking, and I still wouldn't give a shit. As long as I'm entertained.
Yeah. There's some storylines that I'm interested to see how the audiences react, and what think pieces will be like written about certain things. But like, is it kind of glossed over? I mean, is it handled really well? Is it not glossed over? And it's like, it's an accurate portrayal of this kind of thing. But then is it like tossed up? It doesn't matter. But I will say that like the last issue is just kind of like one big epilogue, which I imagine like could be a fun, like, the final episode of this show is going to be like an hour and a half long.
Okay.
If they want to just make that final issue like the last episode. And there's definitely, and honestly, like the final issue could be its own like season or two, if you really wanted it to.
Okay.
If they was just like, you know what, we can end Invincible how it is in the comics, or we can make more money by expanding into a season or two, and then we get to keep Invincible around a little bit longer because we get to expand the stuff and didn't tell stories we never really get to tell in comics. And so I could see, I hope they don't do that. As much as I enjoy this show and love this comic and like all these characters, and we'll watch what they make, I also don't want them to just like put out shit just to like put out shit. But it is these last 50 issues or so are really great. This comic's awesome. Highly recommend a read to everybody. There's only one bit I was just like, there had to be a different thing to do. It's basically like a reason for a time jump. And I'll just say it's essentially like the equivalent to how shows back in the day used to do. They were like, we need to fill an episode order, so let's just do a clip show. And it's kind of like that. And it's like, this is fucking dumb. You didn't need to do this. You could have written some other reason for a time jump, and I did not care for it. It's not that it's like horrifically bad or anything, or like doesn't make sense. It's just like, why this?
Interesting.
And it's the only thing in all of the 144 issue run where I'm like, I didn't like that. Everything else I was cool with. But by the end, there's so many things I want to talk to you about that we just can't for another 3 years or whatever until you like decide, fuck it, I'll read the comics.
Nah, I'm going to wait.
But
because I really don't want to anticipate what's going to happen next on the show. It's such a blind spot for me. I didn't even know Invincible existed, before this came out. It was just not in my purview. So I want to keep it like that.
Fair enough. The last thing I'll say, and then we can move on, is, the show and the comic never felt preachy to me, and it still didn't by the end. But I could be wrong, and maybe this is just my interpretation. Maybe people have other interpretations, because it just kind of seemed like this whole thing is just a fun take on superheroes and their, existence and what's good and bad about them, and yada yada yada. But I think what the comic was about the entire time was like forgiveness and the importance in forgiveness. And there are plenty of characters who do very bad things, who like, can everyday people forgive them? Probably not. But can the people in your life forgive you and turn you around and make you a better person and change who you are, good and bad? And I think that's what it was all about from the get-go. And I didn't really realize it until it like got to the end, where it's just like, forgiveness is the key to like being a true hero. And I'll say that while also going like, some motherfuckers need to die. And I think that's what I like about Invincible, is just like, hey, he is, Superman. He will always do the right thing. But sometimes the right thing is taking out a motherfucker who needs to fucking die. And Invincible will do that. So it was a hell of a ride, and I had a blast. And so if you're gonna read you can honestly, if you had all the issues and you just sat down for the day, you'd probably be done in a day if that's all you did. And
I can't do that.
It's a great time. I wouldn't recommend consuming it like that because it is a lot. But I mean, other than the final issue, each issue takes you 5 to 10 minutes to read, and you can really knock them out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was talking to our friend Nick, and he asked me like, "Oh, how many seasons do you think they have left?" I don't know if they've talked about it or announced it, but honestly, I think there's for sure at least 2 more seasons. But my guess is 3. Okay. I think they could do it in 2, but I think we got 3 more seasons of the show.
Well, I know like Battle Beast has his own comic right now, and like Tech Jacket had his own comic. So
there's like multiple comics set in this universe that are referenced in this thing. Where there's like superhero teams that pop up to like help out, but they're not really part of like the main storyline. It'll just be like, I forget what the name is, but like the Go-Go Team issue 33 for like this reference to this thing. So like, there's a bigger world with other characters.
Like, they did the multiverse thing. It's like they had like Spawn and Savage Dragon show up. But like they're Image comic characters, but they're not in the world of Invincible.
Yeah, I mean, there's in the comics, and I mean the show kind of did it too, where Invincible runs into Batman and Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But you only see Spider-Man's web shooter.
Yeah.
And then you only see Batman's like gauntlet. And it's like, so what's this? Oh, you just dress up a bat? That's weird. And that's all it really is. Yeah. It's just like, oh look, he ran into these characters who we don't own, but we use just enough.
The ones we do own, we're going to use them.
Yeah. So, but anyway.
Yeah, cool.
Check out Invincible, the comic, if you want spoilers.
And we'll talk about the show next week.
Correct.
When it all wraps up.
Because, boy, howdy, do we have thoughts. I assume.
So, how much do you got left?
I have one last thing before the main topic.
Okay, well, I'll be quick. I'll do 2 things real quick that I don't need to talk a lot about. First one, Thrash, shark movie on Netflix. I'm always there for a shark movie. This one's fun because it's like the levees break and the water is in the town. So you're trapped in your house and there's a shark in the basement. Like there's sharks swimming in your house. And
what was that alligator one?
It's Crawl.
Crawl,
it's Crawl but sharks.
It's Crawl but sharks, yes.
It is what it is. But they're bull sharks, so they're smaller and they can get into places. And they really show these fuckers chomping on people. And that's pretty great. One of the fun gimmicks is there's this huge like tanker truck that is going to like the meat factory, and it's just like a bunch of liquid meat just being poured into this truck. But then when the wave hits it, it gets pierced and all the blood gets like out into the town and into the ocean, and that's what causes all the sharks to come in. Pretty awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah. I mean, but it's like a C+ movie. It is what it is. And then last week's big release was Faces of Death. I sang my little song about it.
Give us the French version of let's hear your French Faces of Death cover.
No, I don't want to. I like this movie well enough, but it is just kind of like, they didn't go for the jugular. Like Faces of Death was such a culty thing, and I thought this was gonna be really mean and nasty, and it's got little bits of it, but it's not enough. I think Dacre Montgomery is pretty good in this. I like Barbie Ferreira as our final girl. But the story itself is really frustrating. When characters in horror movies do really dumb shit and you're just screaming? Yeah, that's this movie. It's like, you guys can get out and be free from this? Like, no, I gotta get evidence and da-da-da. And then I'm gonna go back to the scene with the cops, and the cops aren't gonna believe him, and it's so frustrating at the end. But it is still a bloody good time. I didn't hate it. I just was expecting a little more bite.
An actual blood-filled bloody good time, not in the English way.
Yes.
Of it was a bloody good time.
Well, both,
I don't know what that accent was.
It is both, actually. There is a lot of blood, and it is a bloody good time.
Excellent. All right. Well, speaking of a bloody good time, I beat a video game called Resident Evil 9 Requiem.
Nice.
So you can borrow it if you want.
As soon as I'm done with my game that I'll talk about next
All right, we'll do a game swap. So Resident Evil 9, as I've said on the podcast, I was never a Resident Evil kid. Horror was never my thing for a long time. But I recently got into horror games, and so I played the remastered or the re-release editions of Resident Evil 2, 3, and 4, and I really had a good time with those games. I dug them. They're beautiful games, genuinely kind of like jump scares that work on me, lots of fun zombies to kill and cool monster designs.
Tight controls.
Yep. So, I mean, the storylines sometimes are kind of hard for me to like follow.
That's Resident Evil for you.
And they're a little bit convoluted, and that still remains true here. But if you enjoyed those games, then you'll enjoy this one, because we talked about it before. I was like, oh yeah, why didn't I play Resident Evil 9? I liked all these other games, and then I remembered, Resident Evil 8 Village was first person. I'm like, I don't give a shit about that. I'm not going to do that. But I think that has like backstory for like all this lore is connected. But if you ask me to like describe how it all connects, couldn't tell you. Umbrella Corporation.
Yeah, it truly does not matter.
Yeah. So we have a new character, Grace, and returning fan favorite character, Leon, with gaming's dumbest fucking haircut. But
in this one or from the last one?
He has the same haircut from Resident Evil 2 and 4, yeah. Just a little bit grayer. He's so the game's set in like 2040. A nuke was dropped on Raccoon City in some game, I don't remember. So Raccoon's
one, yeah.
Well, in Resident Evil 2, they're in Raccoon City because that's where they go to the police station.
Resident Evil 2 kind of takes place at the same time. Oh, okay, maybe it is at the end of 2. Yeah, it's probably at the end of 2.
Probably at the end of 2.
3 and 2 take place at the same time.
Yeah. So, yeah, Raccoon City is a wasteland. You play Grace, who works for the FBI, and you have to, like, there's this zombie-looking dude who's, like, the Dr. Victor, whatever, and he has this asylum that you, like, go and investigate that has connections. Like, your mother was killed in front of you, and you have to, like, go here. And so a big chunk of this game is just you in this asylum as Grace, and you have, like, really not much combat ability. You have one gun, and so ammo, like all the other games, are kind of sparse. But you can't, like, kick anybody off of you, really. You can kind of, like, get lucky and kind of push them off you, and you have, like, a makeshift knife that breaks after, like, 5 uses every time. But this is a section where it's, like, more survival and, like, kind of, like, you don't want to do combat. You just want to collect all the things. But this is also a section that drove me kind of fucking nuts, because the mansion or the asylum that you're in, obviously you have to, like, you go over here and collect this thing to go back over here and unlock this thing, and that takes you to this room where it has this thing to go back over on the other side and up and down. And yeah. So I've spent, like, hours in this asylum just going in the same rooms, up the same hallways over and over and over again to just keep unlocking stuff to, like, progress the story. And so, like, I went through it so many times, you would think that I would, like, have it memorized, but because I'm constantly moving around, it's like, wait, I forgot how to go back, and, like, there's a map, but I forget, like, okay, well, it's on this side, so I go to this side, but, like, oh, this way's blocked, so I actually have to go to this other side to go up, to go across, and it was just like, oh my god, it's taking me forever to get out of here.
Layouts in Resident Evil are always, like, either frustrating because of the puzzly sort of aspect, locked door aspect, or it's just, who designed this building? If this was a real-world thing, this is the most ridiculous.
I mean, it's the same sort of concept as Resident Evil 2 when you're in the police station for a long period of time, where you're doing the same thing. You're going back and forth, up on the level, down a level, to just unlock things to get to other things.
You know what you should do? Watch a speed run of Resident Evil 2 Original. It's crazy how... Like, you could beat the game in, like, 22 minutes if you know exactly where to go, and most of the zombies will never attack you if you just don't stop running. And watching people speedrun it and knowing where to get the crank and passing up all the ammo and the herbs and stuff because they don't need it, they're speedrunning it, it's insane how like easy these games are if you really know what to do.
I've never watched a speed run, but I'll see like, oh, I beat this game in 46 minutes. It's like, I played that game for 40 hours. How is that possible?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I guess obviously if you're like cutting the like cutscenes, but if you're like, if this is your first, I mean, there's games where you're not allowed to skip. How is that possible?
No, for a lot of those, it's like the new Tomb Raider game. I was able to get it done in 40 minutes because they're like forcing themselves, like clipping through a wall that cuts a huge section out and kicks you to the final level, and then you're able to beat the guy. And it's like, okay, well, because you speed ran it because you broke the game.
Sure.
Whereas like this Resident Evil one I watched, they did everything you need to do. They just didn't fight any of the bad guys. They didn't crack under pressure when something came through a window, and they just knew where to get the crank and where to get the diamond key, and and just avoided everything else.
I don't get it. That seems stupid. That takes the enjoyment out of. It's like
an original Mario Brothers speed run. Yeah, cool. If you know where the warps are and you know exactly what pixel to jump at to avoid bad guys, that's totally fine. But like, if I try to hit this block a bunch of times, it freaks the game out and it glitches me to the final boss. That doesn't count.
Yeah. Anywho,
but good game.
Yeah, I don't know if it's of the 4 that I've played. I don't know where it really ranks. It's gorgeous to look at. So much detail. It might honestly be like the bottom of the list for me.
Even more than 3? Because isn't 3 kind of like the cash-in one? It's like super short.
From what I remember, like 2 is the horror one. 3 is the action one. So it's like it loses some of the like scary elements, and it's just like, okay, well, you're playing 2 soldiers who are just kicking ass. So I can see why people would be turned off to that, but I kind of had fun with that game. Once again, ask me what happens in that game, couldn't really tell you. And then 4 kind of like you get the best of both worlds because you're Leon, so you're badass, but also you are exploring this like scary sort of area. So the gray stuff, while not necessarily fun, was scarier, but like I had such a good time as like Leon just because I was just collecting ammo and just like kicking, like I was
sharpening my
axe. Oh my god, the best part of this game is that your axe couldn't fucking break. It would just like get dull, and then you just do sharpen it, and then you're back to
What if you don't sharpen it? Does it auto sharpen? If you don't sharpen it, does it just not work?
Oh, that's a good question. No, I think
break,
it just
right?
if it's still done to nothing, it just doesn't work. But all you need to do is like back up and press the sharpen button, and it does like 3 swipes, and then it's back to normal. It's so fucking great to have like a melee weapon that doesn't break, because I get to some degree the realism of a melee weapon, or like you don't want to have that crutch of just like, well, they don't need ammo if they constantly have a melee weapon. I get it, but God, I hate durability in games. Like, make the gun jam or something versus just like making my knife not sharp.
Like, it'll take 20 hits to kill this guy with the melee weapon, but you have the option. It doesn't have to be an instant kill every time. But if I'm out of ammo, I need to be able to kill him. And if something breaks on me, like, what am I supposed to do? Just die and start over again?
Yeah, and like if I'm Grace and my knife breaks because the durability went down, then I should still be able to punch a thing. To not have any sort of like swinging ability, like do 1% damage on whatever, but like give this bitch a punch.
Yeah, something. A push, a shove.
But anyway,
shoulder rush.
So yeah, it's I lost my train of thought, but 2040, it's in the future. Raccoon City is done. You team up with Leon, who's also investigating this guy. Leon has been infected because you've seen that people who were escaped the virus in Raccoon City in like Resident Evil 2, people have started to like die off, basically kind of like radiation poisoning kind of stuff, where the T virus or whatever it's called is like is killing people, and then you see like sort of black like veins and stuff coming out of Leon. Like he's dying throughout this game, and you find out that grace is the key to unlocking Elpis is the name of this thing. And Elpis, they believe, is the new bioweapon that will help this bad guy, take over the world or make a bunch of money or whatever. And he has superpowers, but his superpowers are like, he's got like super speed, but it's like, why the fuck would that give him super speed? It doesn't matter. It's video game bullshit. Yeah. Everyone turns into giant monsters and everything. But once you escape the asylum, you're kind of like back to being Leon. And Leon goes back to Raccoon City, and he sees the police. You like go through the RPD building from 2, and so it's like all this cool, fun callback stuff. You fight, spoilers for any. You basically fight Shelob at one point. Like, it's just a giant black spider, and it's like a really fun action sequence. And there is 2 endings. If you do the bad ending, like the sad one, the basic goes like, this is a fun thing, but now you can play to get the true ending. Yeah. And the true ending is like sort of the happier ending. Okay. So it seems like the way this ends is like, this is the end of this franchise's main storyline. Oh. But it also does still have like a tag at the end where like, there's of course going to be Resident Evil 10, of course, but I think it'll be like a new era.
No more Jill or Claire or Chris.
It's hard to say, but I think that's part of the reason why it's like called Requiem, because it's like the Requiem for, Umbrella and I can't really say anything without getting spoilery. Right, so I'll just say like it just seems like this is the end for this storyline. Now it's branching off into a separate thing where is there a new bioweapon, new characters, new things. But I would say for someone who's not like super into the Resident Evil franchise, it seems like a fitting ending for at least some of these characters. So yeah, I had a good time with it. I like this franchise. Don't do any more first-person shit. But if you liked playing the new re-releases of 2, 3, and 4, 9 fits into that mold, you'll probably enjoy it.
And this one has first-person and third-person options. So
yes,
why can't we do all the games like that? Like, I want to play Resident Evil 7 and 8. But I'm not playing first person. Give me a third person option.
Yeah, and they said like we recommend doing Grace's stuff in first person because it adds to the horror element to it. And it's like, nah, I'm good.
Because the thing I see is like each of the zombies in that are like individual tailor-made zombies. Like you have the one with the IV pole and it can kill people, and then you got like the singing woman.
Like,
yeah. It's like it's nice to see they're not just generic and like they kind of have personality.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I think that really adds to not only like the sort of generic zombies, but also just kind of gives you more enemy. What's the word I'm looking for? Enemy types, I guess. Yeah. And just adds to the lore. And like that singing one is creepy. Like it like, it's dumb. It's just doing the same song over and over again, but it really does add sort of like an extra, like, if you heard a zombie singing, you'd be like, holy fuck. Yeah. Like, this is scary shit. Yeah. And it's so simple, but I think it's effective. And it's always fun. Like, I don't know any other game that does this where, like, you can kill a zombie and it's there and it's dead for, like, 40 minutes. And then you come back again later, and it just, like, pops up again. Yeah. And so it always, like, even if you, like, kill everything in that room, you never know if you're quite safe. And there's so many times where I'm just like, all right, I'm trying to do this thing, and then, oh, god damn, it's back. And, then, like, part of me, it gets frustrated with it. Mm-hmm. But another part of me is just like, it's kind of cool that, like, you're always on sort of some sort of edge when you're here. Because you don't want to, like, it sucks that you wasted ammo killing this thing, but also it's like, damn, now there's always a challenge there. It's not like just kill everything and then you're good.
Yeah. So. They did that in the Resident Evil 1 remake for GameCube. They added a function where you can, after you down a zombie, the bodies will stay there forever. But you could light them on fire because they can come back up as a crimson head and they're even stronger and meaner and faster. Right. Yep. I know they have the blister heads in this.
The blister heads in this,
but that's rooted from that. And there was only so much lighter fluid, so there's 100 zombies, you can burn 20 of them. Let's hope that you burn the right ones. So. Cool, well, I'll talk about my own Capcom game next week. That is if I finish it, but I probably will. I'm flying. Okay, man, long episode, but I guess when we take a week off, we got to play catch up. I'll be quick about the next two things, and then we'll get to our main topic.
Honestly, our main topic will probably be the shortest.
The shortest thing, yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry, I spent too much time on Malcolm in the middle. First one, Exit 8. The Japanese horror movie based on a video game.
Also called Exit 8, correct?
I believe so, yes. Okay. A man leaves a train, gets a call from his girlfriend saying, hey, I'm at the hospital, I'm pregnant. And he's all like, gulp, what do I do? And realizes he's in this kind of loop in the exit. And the same things are happening over and over again. It's just a man walking by him. But he's seeing the same posters, the same lockers. And then he reads the rules. You see an anomaly, you turn back and go the other way. And if he can do that 8 times, he gets out of there. This movie is boring. And I know it's stupid to say, but damn is it repetitive. And I know that's part of it. But Jesus.
It's got to be a tight 90, right?
It is a tight 90. Okay. It should have been a tight 40.
Fair enough.
It's just over and over again of reading off the posters and double checking everything. Like, there's a reason this is a video game that you experience and you don't watch.
Theoretically, you beat in like 30 minutes.
Yeah, and I've seen speedruns of this where like
38 seconds.
Yeah, it's like so fast, and then just walking like, oh no, wrong thing, turn around, and then this character, he reads the rules, he understands it, but then an anomaly will happen, and he's like, well, should I investigate it a little bit further? Oh, it got me scared. I'm gonna run the wrong way, and like, you see something weird, instantly turn around, and it's like, stop fucking with it. It like. Really frustrating main character. And
now, is there any element to like if he dies, he wakes up at the beginning or anything?
There's
like
no
that? Die. Because I think that would have helped some of that. It's like, okay, well, the reason he couldn't turn around is because like the monster was there and killed him, and then he started at the beginning.
To be some monsters, right? You expect this to be like spooky and Silent Hill-ish, but it's not. The creepiest thing is. There's, the rat with that they grew an ear on its back, that fake thing. Well, like, there's now, there's a rat with a nose, and a rat with a mouth, and a rat with an eye, and they kind of get close to each other to look like a face. And they're like, oh, that's creepy. There's some dripping blood at one time, and then there's like a flood that comes down. And that's the only, like, really weird stuff. I expected horrifying monster shit. And you just don't get it.
That wouldn't be the game, yeah.
And it's I'll give it credit. They add other characters in it. Like, he's walking down and he just sees a man walking down over and over again. Just seems like an NPC. Well, we actually get to see it from that guy's perspective. He got stuck in this loop as well. But he, like, fails it, and now he becomes an anomaly in your go-through, whereas you're an anomaly in someone else's go-through. So you see some creepy little kid, well, that kid does exist and isn't an anomaly, but, for his go-through, you may be an anomaly for him. So, like, it expands what's going on.
I do like that.
It's interesting, because you have to do something for 90 minutes. Just a frustrating watch that gets really
now I'm glad I didn't make the trip to go see it.
Yeah, so, pass, All
right.
I really was kind of just not happy by the end of it. The other movie I saw, this week's big release, Lee Cronin's The Mummy. And I guess they had to call it Lee Cronin's The Mummy because they're still doing a Brendan Fraser mummy, and they were not allowed to call it just The Mummy. And if you look it up on like IMDb or on Letterboxd, it is called Lee Cronin's The Mummy. So like, if I put this on my shelf, am I expected to put it under L for Lee Cronin's The Mummy? No, it goes under M for Mummy, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
Anywho, This movie is gross. It is nasty. There is some...
It's the reason I did not see it.
There's some ooey gooey stuff in it that is just... Like, I'm not a very vocal person in theaters. You know, I'll laugh. Sure. But there's a thing that happens that I went, oh God, no, out loud. And the rest of the crowd is also reacting to the thing. Do you want to know what it is?
I talked to Nick. I didn't do a deep dive with him, but it's something with her toe or something.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
It's her toe.
Oh, yeah. And he was telling me about it. I had to cover my ears.
Okay, for anybody at home who wants to hear it, they're trying to cut her toenails with the clippers, and they just won't cut, and it kind of busts off. And you know when you rip a hangnail on the side of your finger, and it goes up about a half inch? Well, this goes from her toe to her knee. And it happens real fast. And then she takes like a piece of metal, and she just starts digging into her wound. It's gross. This movie's not fun. You're not going to have a good time. It's very much like this year's Bring Her Back.
Yeah.
Even the main woman kind of looks like Sally Hawkins in a way. It's mean-spirited and just really hard to watch at times. But that movie felt like it had a message, and this one doesn't. And it's just The Exorcist. But they didn't want to call it The Exorcist, so they're like, I don't know, The Mummy, I guess? We could probably retrofit this script and turn it into a mummy movie? Sure. It's like, because mummies are stupid. Mummies are the dumbest universal monster. It's just a burial procedure. And then when they're alive, it's just a zombie. They're not cool. Mummies suck.
Well, that's why you have to give them like ancient pharaoh powers to make them more interesting.
Which is not scary. That's a fantasy. That's action adventure. That's fun, not scary. So this is just Exorcist, or really it's the Evil Dead. It's the director of the last Evil Dead, Dead Rise. And it's similar. Like the grandma who dies in the movie, she becomes possessed later and is talking to the husband like a Deadite would in Evil Dead, just like, oh, hey there, Sonny, want to eat my pussy? You know, like, she doesn't say those words, but that's what she's implying. And it's like, that's exactly what a Deadite does. And so I just wish it could have just been another Evil Dead movie. It really could. I know we're getting one this year and another one next year, but this movie it's kind of stupid, but I still like a lot about it. The grossness, the effects. That little girl is disgusting. She's so hard to look at, and like I've seen what she looks like as a normal, and she's kind of like, she has a unique face. Very much like in Hereditary, like that girl. She has a very unique face. But they really make her nasty, and there are times I was just kind of like, oh, this is kind of interesting, and other times like, this is really fucking stupid. Too long, 2 hours and 15 minutes. But yeah, it's like a C+, and it gets the plus because it has all the extra gooey bits. I mean, it's a confused movie.
I'm not someone who necessarily is again, like, I like violence. And, well, let me rephrase that.
Against your wife, your children.
Violent action movies, all that stuff, it's fun. And, like, some extreme violence doesn't necessarily bother me. But when it seems, like, so real and so, like, so grossly violent, it's like I have no desire to watch it. Like, my whole body violence. My body shrinks into itself. I don't like even hearing you talk about it.
Yeah.
And maybe that makes me a bitch, but it's just not something I'm into. So when I saw this trailer, I was like, yeah, this looks like it's going to be fucking disgusting. I have no interest in seeing it. So you and Nick went and saw it and have told me how gross it is, and so I'm happy I didn't go see it, because I would not have come out of that movie going like, I enjoyed any of this.
No, this is not a Steve movie.
Yeah. So my only question is, and I talked to Nick a little bit about it, and I've already forgot. So they are putting, from the trailer, I didn't realize there was a bunch of kids. but it was like 200 kids or something, but she was the only survivor.
That's like a misdirect from the trailer. They're like, how many sarcophaguses have you found? And like 84 or whatever. That's not the movie at all. That's not even a part. That line comes from the dad talking to the detective saying, like, you deal with missing children. How many missing children have you found in your career? 58. Okay. Has nothing to do with the actual sarcophaguses and the mummy stuff at all. They just repurposed that line for the trailer. So,
but like, it's like some cult or something that is like sacrificing children,
yes,
right?
This is the thing that is really confusing and pisses me off. So there's a woman. She kidnaps the little girl, brings it to the house. There's a pyramid underground, and underneath that pyramid, they have the sarcophagus that has this ancient evil demon. It's like the demon that breaks up families or something. I can't remember all its details. It's very vague on what it is. It's a bad demon thing.
Sure.
And they have to transfer it into a fresh young body because that will last longer. Right. So it can like last 20, 40, 80 years. Who knows? And then they'll do this, it's this family's job to kind of do this to keep the evil at bay. Okay? So when they take the little girl out of the coffin, it's funny, the where the house was gonna flood, and they couldn't risk flooding where the coffin is, so they put it on a plane, but I guess the mummy had enough power to down the plane crashes, and then the coffin is found, and then they find the little girl inside. They bring the little girl to the hospital, and they're like, hey, we found her, it's been 8 years, it's crazy. She looks like shit. She is fucked up beyond belief. No sudden movements, no loud noises. It's going to take time for her to heal. But you can take her home now. It's fine. Like that happened in like Egypt. And then they just allow her to go home. There's no test of how a girl survived 8 years in a sarcophagus. Like, it would have been, they say like, we'll keep it out of the news. This chick would have been studied for years. Psychologists would need to talk to her. But they're like, nah, you can just go back to America.
Of course.
You can just take your weird kid back. So them taking her out of the sarcophagus is now releasing that evil. And she's slowly possessing her younger brother and her younger sister. And so they do the sacrificial thing, just like in The Exorcist, where the dad holds her down, they say the words, and put the evil spirit into the dad. Mm-hmm. But then at the very, very end, the woman who kidnapped the girl, like the police had shot her and arrested her. She's in a mental facility. They go and they bring the dad, chained to like a wheelchair, to her, and it's like, remember me? You remember my daughter? Now here's payback, and they're going to put the demon in her. And it's like, wasn't she the good guy? I know she stole the kid, but she's keeping this evil at bay that's going to like wreck the world. Yes, her means are awful, and she shouldn't be stealing this kid, but she was doing a good thing. You took her out of the coffin. You guys are releasing this evil. Now you're going to damn her and put her in it? That's kind of fucked up. Yeah, she deserves to be punished for kidnapping and killing children, but like, it seemed like not a good ending.
Yeah, I mean, I think in the grand scheme of things, for the parents, that makes sense. Like,
yeah, they want
the punishment fits the crime.
Sure.
And then it's like, but now, okay, so you possess this chick. You, as the parents of the girl you saved, do you go, well, now we take over? It's like, or like, do you contact the prison system? It's like, hey, we discovered that the Egyptian devil is real. Uh-huh. So in order to like give us your child molesters or whatever, and just keep feeding.
Does it become a government?
That seems like
thing?
A pretty
because they have a VHS
good trade off, or
they have a VHS tape of the possession thing happening. Like, look, it's actually I guess they could say it's all fake or whatever, sure. But there's evidence to be seen. I don't know. It just dumb. It's a weak story that could have just been a simple possession story, even though we've seen those a million times.
Starring Russell Crowe.
It is just an exorcism story that they want to put a new spin on and add some gooey bits. Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad I skipped that one too.
Yeah, not...
You give me a hard time for like not being up on all the movies, but every time we talk about some stuff that I skip, you're like, yeah, that's kind of a real big piece of shit.
Hey, but at least I'm trying.
You are trying. You always try when it comes to movies.
So, should we get to the main topic?
Yep.
All right. Normal, starring Bob Odenkirk, who helped write this as well. And also comes from the man who wrote Nobody with Bob Odenkirk. The writer is Derek Kolstad. Sorry, let me do that again. The writer is Derek Kolstad, and the director is Ben Wheatley. I know him from Free Fire.
Yep.
He made Free Fire, and the Meg 2. Meg 2's not very good.
Those are his two big ones.
Yeah, those are the big ones. This is now I've been talking a lot about The Mummy, and I'm a little parched. Steve, you tell me what Normal's about.
Normal is about a small town sheriff. He's a temporary sheriff after the town sheriff has died. He's only going to be there for a few weeks. This is a small town in Minnesota where it seems like the biggest thing happening in town is like there's a moose on the loose, like that kind of thing. But things start going awry when he discovers some truths about the town, and then it kind of becomes a like Hot Fuzz ripoff where the town is trying to kill him because they are secretly in cahoots with the Yakuza.
Yeah, that was a little bit weird.
Yeah, and then action and hilarity ensues. And that's basically it. Yeah. So, Ben, what'd you think of this movie?
This movie fucking sucks.
Yeah, it's not very good.
I really dislike this movie.
I'm not gonna lie, I saw this at a 10 o'clock show. I was gonna see a 7 o'clock show. And it was like a 7:15 show. I texted Nick at 7 because I forgot about it. I was like, oh, hey, do you want to meet me in the theater in 15 minutes? He's like, no. I was like, all right, do you want to see the 10 o'clock show? Sure.
He does not live far. He can make it there.
Well, I'm not going to get into it, Ben. 15 minutes notice regardless is crazy.
I get it. You're about to hop in the shower. You're in the middle of doing chores. You're already playing a game or something. Like, I get it, but come on, man. You could pause it. Just go to the movies. It's fine.
So, you got
a little sleepy.
I got a little sleepy during the movie, so there are definitely elements that I did sort of miss. So story-wise, you might have to fill in some gaps for me. But all in all, the action in this movie is okay. I like that Bob Odenkirk is in his 60s and he's doing action movies. I think the Nobody movies are better because at least they're kind of fun. Especially the first one. Mm-hmm. The second one, meh. No. But yeah, this this movie's not really held up by any performances. There is a duo that robs a bank that he teams up with.
Yeah,
that, they just kind of disappear. It feels like they should have been really here from the beginning of the movie and become characters that we get invested in.
Yeah. They lived in the town. They knew what was in the safe. They were going to take it for all.
Yeah, but they were just kind of passing through. Yeah. And then they just drive off, and it's like, why did we have them here?
Yeah, and they didn't say anything about, our daughter's cancer treatment in the next town over. We need money for that. We don't know why they're robbing a bank. Obviously for money, but usually there's a bigger reason for that.
It's just we need a catalyst to get as a reason to get the Yakuza here.
Yeah.
Because it's funny. As I was watching it, and there was both of the bank guards were Asian men. I was like, I see that in movies a lot. I was just like, wait, all the security here is Asian? That's kind of weird. And it shouldn't be a weird thing, but it's something I noticed. I was like, oh, well, they're Yakuza.
They're the guys from the beginning. Wait, did you miss the beginning where they had to cut off their fingers?
We did walk in a minute or two late, so yes. Okay, well then, it wouldn't have been no
there's weird. three Japanese guys, and they're like, you've shamed us. You need to cut off your finger. Two of them do it. One of them refuses, gets his head cut off. And they're like, all right, well, if you want to, make good, you're off to Minnesota. And they're the bank guards.
Oh, okay. Well, honestly, they should have cut that because I had no idea that was coming at all. So, okay. So now that wouldn't have been a surprise. Yeah. That's interesting. So, okay. Yeah, I had no idea the Yakuza was coming until like 35 minutes.
Oh, you didn't know the Yakuza was part of it until after the shootout?
Until the bank robbery occurred, where they, like, after the bank robbery happened, they, like, the guy gets on the phone's like, hey, there's a problem, and then you, like, cut to Japan with the Yakuza, like, all right, we're getting on the flight. It's like, I was like, wait, the Yakuza are in this? What the fuck? But it was explained from the get-go. That's what we get for showing up late.
Yeah, that scene, if that scene in the beginning wasn't there, then, like, that would just, like, be really poor writing that the Yakuza would just show up out of nowhere. And, okay, you guys didn't go to the early show, but you were still late to this show. That's crazy.
We weren't sure.
Drinks.
No. Well, we were at a bar, but we were, like, killing time, and it was like, all right, well, the movie starts at 10. Well, we know it's not actually going to start till 10. It'll probably start at... Well, we weren't sure if it was going to be 15 minutes or the 30 minutes. So we went at we left at the 18-minute mark.
See a trailer or two, you know?
Yeah,
in the theater.
Well, he was finishing up his drink. I was like, let's go.
Nick is so very much
I was ready to go sooner, but...
Yeah, like, wait till the last fucking second.
Nick's going to listen to this episode and be like, man, they're tearing me to shreds.
Nick doesn't listen to this shit anymore.
But anyway, so yes, we were a couple minutes late. I'm going to blame Nick. But anyway.
Okay. I know this whole thing gets set off because two people are robbing a bank, and one of the guards texts on his phone, like, 123, and it sends a signal, or it sends a text to the Yakuza people.
Yeah.
And it's like, uh-oh, shit's going down. They haven't even gotten in the safe yet, and you're already panicking? Like, open the safe, wait till their guard's down, murder these guys, and then you're done. But then
the movie doesn't happen.
They go to the nuclear option instantly, and it's just so fucking stupid. There's just a lot of parts of this movie that I did not enjoy. Okay, let's talk about the whole town's in on it. Okay, that's fine, whatever. Now they have their money to have their new city hall or whatever. They just got to hold the Yakuza's money. That's fine. I don't really care about that. But if this is such a big secret for the town, why are you hiring an outside sheriff even in the meantime? Why are you doing it at all? The sheriff died? That's very sad. So-and-so is going to take their place until we could have elections. Why are you even having elections? You're a criminal town holding Yakuza money. Why are you doing things on the up and up?
Well,
someone could find out this shit.
Maybe it's explained in the movie, but I think, my interpretation of that was, if a sheriff dies and no one is, technically qualified to be a sheriff because they haven't been elected, or they've never been a sheriff before, you get an outside one to come in and run until someone is elected. So versus just like, because otherwise you could theoretically say the thing of just like, oh, well, the person under me wants to be sheriff. I get, gunned down in the streets by a local gang.
Sure.
It's like that. It eliminates that aspect of it.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's how that works, or if most towns would go like, yeah, fuck it, just give it to like the next guy in line, at least temporarily. But then it's like, if he wanted to be a sheriff and now he's like the temporary one, and an election coming around, well, he was already a sheriff. It's not fair to the next guy.
I get that.
I can write that off.
But cops, it's like cops do each other favors all the time and are not known for have the most scrupulous values. I can totally see them like, hey, we got to send you an interim sheriff. And like, come on, just let Jim do it for him. I'm like, all right, maybe this one time. It just seems like a really stupid thing. Or they loop them in or something. It just seems like, why do you leave it up to chance at all?
I also imagine it's like, well, one, we're such a small town, and I mean, there's no real need to defend this movie, but I could just see being like, well, what are the chances that we're going to get robbed and then our whole plan is going to unravel? And also, what are the chances that our sheriff is like a badass because he just seems like this dopey old guy? Like, if he ever does find out anything, we'll kill him and it won't be a problem. But turns out he's Liam Neeson in Taken and he's killing everybody. I don't know. So I'm defending it, but I don't care for it.
All right, then now let's see you defend this.
Okay.
All right, so Bob Odenkirk's passed. He's depressed and sad and lost his mojo because a young girl came to him and said, "This guy is raping me," and he said, "No, he's not. I know who that guy is. He would never do something like that." Then she pulls a gun on that guy, which I think is her dad.
Yeah, I believe it's a dad.
And he shows up, and the story he tells is she killed him, and then I killed her, and I couldn't live with myself after that. But in fact, she does not kill her dad. He kills the dad. Why is the story you're making up worse than what actually happened? What? Like, why do you have to lie about that? Why can't he just tell people, I killed a man who was on his knees for my own, my own prejudices or whatever. Like, I let it get to me.
Because he'd go to jail.
Then why make up a story of killing the girl? She pointed the gun at me and I fired first and died. If they actually looked into it, she wouldn't be dead because he doesn't say that she died when he killed the dad. So why add that other layer? You could say, like, I tried to talk her down. She shot her dad. I had to tackle her and send her to jail. I couldn't save him. I couldn't talk her out of it. Why add the I killed a girl when you killed a pedophile? That's like a cool story. Like, it just seems like it's almost backwards. Like, he would tell people, I killed this guy. But in fact, he accidentally killed the girl, and that's why he can't live with himself. But that was a fake story.
See, I mean, and I could be wrong, because like I said, I was falling asleep, and I may have misinterpreted or missed something. But I assumed it was kind of like, well, she still died, but he blames himself for her death because he could have stopped it but didn't. And then...
Did she die, though? How'd she die?
I assumed it was just like she shot herself, or...
I mean, I don't think that was specifically said.
Let me look up the Wikipedia real quick. Let's see if it says.
Okay, you can do that.
Because sometimes we've been known to get some details wrong.
Sure.
Our interpretations are different.
Yeah, maybe. It is a very boring movie, so I could have been spacing out as well. But why does this movie have so many people? Not like so many, but like Lena Headey? What's she doing here?
I mean, I was kind of happy to see her because I haven't seen her do anything in a while, but also just like, she didn't need to be in this movie. She's wasted in this.
And I totally thought she would be like the one good guy. She seemed to want to cozy up to him because maybe she wanted to spill the secrets. But no, she's a bad guy, just like the guy who chews on a nail and the old lady. Okay, you're going to tell me you're going to convince an old lady to carry a gun in her yarn store and kill anyone who finds out their secret? Like, that's ridiculous. It's totally Hot Fuzz. It's no real... This movie isn't, like, wacky and silly enough to kind of have these silly characters, but it also takes itself a little serious at times, and it's just right in that line, and I think it needed to either be really gritty, really serious, and this is, like, a dark and dirty secret of this town, or you go full Hot Fuzz and make it really silly. It's just right there in the middle. What do you find?
It was hard to focus while you were talking.
When I'm yabbering? Yeah, okay.
Hang on. It does not say on...
Yeah, because they didn't say.
It doesn't even talk about it on Wikipedia.
Really?
Yeah, his backstory.
Well, who cares?
Whatever.
The movie's stupid.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this movie a I want to say C- would be nice because it's not like it's unwatchable, but I just don't think it's very good either. I'm gonna go D+. I
gave it a D+. Just because, like, you see Henry Winkler explode. You see the guy get run over, but it's not goopy enough. It was a very, like, dry. I know people got splattered. But, like, the guy that got ran over, that guy should have popped like a balloon. He was just, like, ran over like he was stuffed with newspaper. I had one other thing. Okay, his plan at the end of, all right, we got to team up. Yakuza's going to be here, and we can't let them know we're going to just say bygones be bygones and try to hide this. You had the biggest shootout at that bank. You patched all those holes in the wall? Like, I can understand if they didn't have to go into the bank, but...
They just covered it in a bunch of, like, posters.
Yeah, it's like, a car drove through the front. Okay, that makes sense, how to cover up that. But all the walls, then, like, one guy got shot and his blood is all over the place. Like, you're not fooling them at all. And then it just ends up in a big shootout with a restaurant with loaded guns on the wall.
Yeah, that's
so fucking stupid.
Yeah, early in the movie when he goes to sit down and he makes a joke like, these guns aren't loaded, eh? Like, it's just like, of course they're not. Of course they are. And then the guy just kind of like, I forget exactly what he says, but doesn't say no.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, I see where the final showdown's going to be in this movie.
And, like, this feels like it could be a fun Fargo.
I was going to say, this is Fargo meets Hot Fuzz. And that's the problem, because it's tonally leading to both of them and doesn't quite fit into either one. But...
D+.
Like, I love Bob Odenkirk, and I think he does his best given the material in this movie. And it's just, he's not really surrounded by anybody else. You kill the second most famous person in here early on with Henry Winkler, and then you have Lena Headey, who's like, partially a love interest or it seems like it could be a love interest, but then is like a secret villain herself, which like doesn't do anything.
And what's up with that moose? There's a moose that shows up, but only Henry Winkler doesn't see him. I thought that would come back in some way. Or like when the people who robbed the bank are leaving, they would hit the moose and then they're roped back into it. They can't leave because now the tractor's blocking the only road. Like, I don't know.
I did like, when he wakes up to like a loud bang and he goes outside and sees all the red and it's like, there's someone's bleeding, and it's like, oh, well, the moose got into paint. I was like, oh, well, that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
I wonder if that'll come back in any sort of way, or just like, maybe he is running from them and they shoot him and say, I think I got him, and then he runs into the moose and then he gets splashed with red paint. It's like, see, I did get him, and then he like pulls out the gun from under his jacket and kills those guys or something.
Yeah.
You're
following the blood trail, but it's just the paint trail, and then you turn the corner and it's the moose, like, huh? And Bob Odenkirk is
pops up with a grenade launcher, blows up those guys. There's things to do.
Yep. But it's just bottom of the barrel, real stupid.
Yeah, I think if this was a movie you and I made, we'd be like,
we did a pretty good
job. Because we expect nothing good from us.
No, we're not
talented.
No.
But if we made this, we'd be like, wow, look what we
wrote
did.
A whole movie. We didn't just have an idea.
Yeah.
We wrote a whole movie.
But this movie needs work. There was nothing particularly interesting about the directing. I think some of the action sequences were okay, but nothing he hasn't done better before.
Yeah.
Odenkirk, I'm speaking of, or like other action movies have done better. Kind of a waste of the set piece of the town, because I get why you set it in the snowstorm to write off that thing, but then it like isn't visually interesting. I think some of the shopkeepers should have had like more fun weapons and like lean into the silly. Like, that old lady should have been choking people out with a yarn.
Yeah.
Or like stabbing people with needles. Or
no, just pulls out a gun.
Yeah.
Like, the guy that he chews on a nail instead of like a piece of hay. Like, okay, like, I know, I like that they used it, stabbed him in the eye, and then slammed his head against something. Like, it wasn't discarded. It was set up and payoff. Imagine that.
Oh,
well. Next week. You know what's out next week?
Nope.
I do. We got 3 big ones. I think you only want to see 1 for sure, but maybe 2. So we have Mother Mary, which I think you would probably pass on if you didn't have to see it.
It is from the guy who directed The Green Knight.
Yes, it is.
I love The Green Knight.
Your favorite movie of that year?
It is. I rewatched it recently, and it holds up.
Okay. Then we have Michael, the Michael Jackson biopic.
I think... this is tough. Because I think I would enjoy watching Michael more But
Michael Moore.
But I'd be more interested in... Because, like, I know I'm going to get with Michael.
Yeah.
It's going to be Bohemian Rhapsody, but with Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Where Mother Mary, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to expect with that.
That's true.
But I also kind of could see Mother Mary and go like, what the fuck was this movie about?
What was that? Yeah. But then I think the one we should do, Over Your Dead Body.
Yes, for sure.
That's the one.
There was a single showing at our theater on, I think it was Wednesday, that I wanted to see. And I was like, why do they only have one showing at like 7 p.m.? But anyway, it became a thing where I was like, well, if I see this, then it kind of screws over my wife and at bedtime, and then I have to then I don't get to see Normal the next, whatever it was. So I was like, I hope it comes back. I didn't realize it was just like 1 day soft launch of that.
Yeah, not even a movie Mystery Monday.
Yeah. They just scheduled one showing of it, which I thought was weird. But I am looking forward to watching that movie. So that'll be the main one. And if I can get to Michael or Mother Mary, I'll try, but no promises. But I'll at least get Over Your Dead Body.
Cool. Oh, one last thing with Normal. You were in an open caption show, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so was I. I saw it Friday morning before I went into work. It was not an open caption movie. They just loaded up the wrong one for those showtimes. I meant to say something to the manager, but I was like, get me out of here. By the time the credits were rolling, I just wanted to leave. But yeah, they just didn't do their due diligence and figured out if they
fucked up.
They loaded the right thing. So yeah. All right. Well,
we had an abnormal showing of Normal. No.
Yeah.
All
right. So next week, Over Your Dead Body and maybe some other stuff. If you want to get in contact with us,
Invincible Season 2.
Oh yes,
or Season 4. I'm sorry.
Season 4. Yes. If you want to get in contact with us, we are at WRPLpodcast@gmail.com. We're on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and Blue Sky. As always, I'm Ben.
And I'm Steve.
And keep consuming.